We've bought a new van. So about a year ago, Volkswagen announced the release of the new Transporter. Now, I'm not going to express my opinion on this van because I don't want to eat my words too soon. I think they could actually look quite a cool thing. However, I don't think the VW community is too buzzing about it from all the comments that you tend to see everywhere. Now, I think this will change over time. It always does with the T6. People didn't like it. T6.1, people didn't like it, and everyone warmed up to it. Will it be the same with this new Transporter, with its Transit underbody? I don't know. However, what I do know is for myself and my growing family, we need a bit more space. And I've seen a lot within the VW community as well that other people have been thinking the same thing. Therefore, we have just bought a new Crafter. Well, new to me anyway. So, what we have here is a 2017 medium wheelbase Volkswagen Crafter. It is a 140 brake horsepower model. It is a Trendline. It was an ex-fleet vehicle, so it's done like 170,000 miles, but about 150,000 of them was done in the first like 3 years. Ever since, it's done like nearly no mileage every single year. So it's full VW service history van, and I bought this for £10,000. Now, to put that into perspective, this is the same year as basically a T6, and the equivalent of a T6 would probably have been £15,000 to £20,000. It's got everything. It's got aircon, it's got cruise control. This is the most luxurious and modern vehicle that I have owned for quite some time. Now, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, thank you very much. I appreciate all of your support. If you are new here because you've somehow been tricked by the algorithm into van life VW Crafter build, you are going to have a bit of a shock because this is not going to be your regular van life VW Crafter build. Because the regular Crafter owner would stick big knobbly tyres on one of these and probably jack it up a little bit. Or they would start off by putting windows in or their interior first. But that's not what we do around here. Now, I'm not suggesting that's a bad look, or there's anything wrong with it, but it's not what we do here. We lower stuff. But there's not particularly any kits out there to do it. So I'm going to take you on a journey whilst we figure this out together, because I haven't really done much forward planning on it. I have touched it on the ramp for one day to have a quick look to see what's going on with it. Now, obviously, this will get completely bastardized and go on the floor on bags. There's no question about that whatsoever. But I'm trying to also do it in baby steps to try and figure stuff out along the way so that we can reproduce things for other people. You guys, if you end up going down the Crafter route like I am, or you already got one and you don't want to go the high route, you want to go for the lower route. So I will develop an air kit for this in the future. But first, I'm just going to stick it on coilovers somehow. So the front on these is a strut. Typically, it's basically like a Volkswagen Transporter T32 strut. So it's just got a different top mount. It's got like a 3-stud top mount. So for now, like I said, I have done some measurements on this. So I have this old cheap set of Stance Plus or something. Terrible coilovers. So it's going to drive horrible, but it's not going to be on these for very long. I drew up some converters from the standard Crafter top mount bearings to T5 spring size. These will be one of the first things that I get put into mass production. They will probably go into mass production next week, because then any of you guys can get T32 coilovers for a transporter, solo ones or any other brand, and you'll be able to have adjustable coilover suspension on the front. Now, as you can see, I've already modified these because I bolted one of these on without a spring and bottomed the shock out completely, and until the drive shaft hit the chassis, and it looked like this. So that's kind of where I want it to end up anyway on coilovers. So I've modified mine already. I measured that I could get 40mm less under the bolt hole, so I've moved these brackets up a bit to get a bit more, so that hopefully I can have this wound all the way down and it will get close to the similar drop. But the rear is where most people get, there's not really much adjustment. It's on leaf springs. But we're going to do something much like a caddy, because caddies have leaf springs and straight axles on the rear as well. So I've had Jack plasmed all of these plates up for me. So I drew all these, he's plasmed them up. They've got locators in them so that these can go onto the axle, and we're going to flip the axle. I'll get a torch, hang on. No, not yet. So, as you can see, the spring is on top of the axle currently with big shackle bolts. I'm going to remove these bump stops because I want this axle to be up as close to that as humanly possible. So what I'm going to do is whip this axle off and put it underneath. Sorry, take the springs off and put them underneath the axle. And then all those shackles and everything are basically for bolting this and securing it to relocate the axle on top of the chassis. Now, this is just a test one. This is mine. So once this is dropped down and I know that that's as far as it can go, I'll then work out the shackles for the rear for being able to make it adjustable. So you'll then be able to bring the springs up again, much like a caddy kit. So I'm going to try and work on these bits so that you can replicate it if you want to. Gareth's here, by the way.
I waved.
You're very dirty.
I know.
So yeah, I'm going to get into this and join you back here in a little while and we'll see how far it's got down. So that's that axle flipped. Apologies, I didn't film much of that. I've not done this before, so I was just trying to figure it out myself. I'll probably not go into this too far anyway. It's not really a how-to video, it's just I'm showing you what's going on. But yes, so basically, here we are, get a torch. As you can see, so we've got the bolts now come through, the leaf spring is now under the bottom side of the axle. I've put these spacers in. I think a normal kit you'd only need like one of these plates rather than 4, but I was obviously trying to get it higher up. This is on axle stands as well, so we've got a bit of clearance there for travel. Now obviously things still need to go back on. A bit of a late finish last night. Still got to put the shocks and all that sort of stuff back on, but everything seems like it's going to go back on okay, although I'm going to put shortened shocks on, and I'll probably have to flip the anti-roll bar round or twist it round, see how I get on with that. But everything looks like it should all go back on fine with being that much drop and being flipped. But I did just chuck a wheel on as well, so I mean, for regular viewers and people who know Lowdown, you're going to be like, nah, that's not really low, Chris, because that's how I feel. I'm pretty disappointed. But in terms of actually, crafters and other ones that are out there, it's kind of low. So yeah, the normal crowd of crafter people will probably be like, whoa, slammed. But I mean, in our terms, it's not slammed. But yeah, so that is probably the wheel that I'm going to run for now, because These are Range Rovers 20 by 9.5s, ET53, and they still poke out a bit. It's going to be a bit of a pain to get wheels for this thing, I think, with the standard axle on that. I don't think there's going to be many wheels that actually fit these. Not when going low anyway. You can get away with a bit of poke when it's full height because you're going to have a bit of a stretchy tyre, but when they're low, you've got to try and keep that tyre within the wheel arch. So I'm going to run quite a decent sized tyre on this as well for now. I'm going to put probably like a 245/40 on those and run those all round. Bit of a tyre. Doesn't need to. It's a big van. Doesn't need a tiny tyre like what we normally run on the T5s. Eventually, when I bag this, like I said, I'm going to put this on. It's like literally sills on the floor, so I'll be doing a lot of modifying anyway. So I'll shorten my axle in the long run. But like I said, for now, I'm just trying to get my head around it and try and make some parts that I can replicate for any of you other guys that are going to want to do this. So yes, I'm going to now finish these last bits on this axle, get those shocks on, get the anti-roll bar back on, and get that tidied up. Then I'm going to get the front struts swapped over. They hopefully shouldn't take long, considering I've had them both off in the past as well. So they're all going to be loose. Yes. Naturally, I got carried away again. But we have touchdown. Now, I need to get tyres for wheels because at the minute I've just taken the wheels off of the West Bus to trial them on. It looks sick. But we are quite pokey outy. The rear especially is horrendously wide. So for now, I can't run these wheels because they're poking out way too wide, and I do need to raise the front a little bit. I have kind of made it a little bit too low. I have just driven it up the road, but yeah, a little bit too low, especially for the wide wheels and the tyres that are going on it. So I've got to wind it up a little bit on the front and get the wheels and stuff sorted. But phase one is done. We know it works. And it looks amazing. Yes. So that is me done. Quite a good, successful weekend's work. This is probably quite a terrible video, and I am sorry for the lack of detail that has gone into this. That's it. I'm figuring this out for myself as well, and I get carried away and forget to film. So it's back on its standard wheels for now, because like I said, I can't run those Rotiform NUEs. They are too pokey, so I'm going to run them Range Rover wheels, but I need to wait for tyres, so that'll be the next couple of days. So it's back on standard wheels for now, which is hilarious. If I don't get pulled over for being overweight, I will be shocked. So I did also, sorry, I mean, this again is probably not going to interest most of you, but it might do if you are van life people. As I said, I've got 2 kids, so I needed a seat, so I fitted that this weekend. I really struggled to find information on this middle row of seats from anyone. The only other people that I seemed to fit them were using the Crafter front double seats in the back, but that would mean you only have one seatbelt. Didn't really work out for me. I couldn't bother to mount a seatbelt on the pillar or whatever, so I went scouring, and this is a Mercedes Vito V-Class, basically. Hang on. The jazzy lights, they come with it already. Yes, this is a Vito, Mercedes V-Class seat, which has got ISOFIX in both sides and built-in seat belts. I picked this up for, I think it was just under 300 quid, about 280 quid, something like that on eBay. I've then cut the brackets down, they bolt through here basically, there and there. So I kept those brackets and welded bases to it, made a frame, and bolted through the floor. So if anybody else is looking to do a rear seat, there's an option for you. Well, as long as you know a fabricator or know how to weld. But thank you for watching. If you are new, fancy subscribing. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this content. It was maybe a little bit rough and ready, but this is the new build and I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, join along with us. Goodbye.